The Telosians, what no one in your media will reveal to you. We greet you, dear children of Earth. We are always happy to offer you messages of health, support, and comfort. Yes, you truly need comfort right now. Your country, your planet is in turmoil. All sorts of unpleasant events are unfolding on your planet. We sense in each of you a feeling of being fed up, as you say, with all this violence, all these lies, all this manipulation. Because yes, every human being, and we'll speak of France since our channel is French, every human being is fed up with all these schemes that are playing out daily and increasingly so in your country. You are currently experiencing the great upheaval, as you call it. That is, the great transition between the old and the new. We have already spoken to you about this, and as you can see, some humans are losing their minds as the celestial energies become increasingly powerful. It is true that human beings on Earth need to have enough love within them, for themselves and for life, in order to be able to face these violent movements. But we will also tell you this that no one in your media will divulge to you. A few Earth years ago, you lived through this pandemic, which confined you for many months, but also which had a perverse side effect of receiving in your bodies, for those who accepted them, injected products which you were told were made for your healing. In the climate of fear that has been created, many people have been vaccinated, but these vaccines contained what you call nanoparticles, which can gradually disrupt human brains. This is why you are witnessing all this violence, particularly from young people who no longer know where they stand in their lives. This will lead to many of them leaving, either by suicide or through confrontations with law enforcement. As you can see, dear children of Earth, what has happened during this pandemic is also a significant factor in all this violence in your country, and of course in other countries as well. So what can be done in the face of this, you might ask? We will tell you this. These disturbances will continue for a few more months, but an event will cause things to gradually calm down over the next year or so. We're not saying everything will stop, that everything will cease, but these violent events will subside. Gradually, you will regain a sense of calm, meaning you will be able to breathe, and you will finally be able to see things more clearly in this unsettling situation you are currently experiencing. It is important to understand that all of this needs to manifest itself so that subsequently only energies of peace and calm will remain. Nothing can be experienced otherwise, that is, in peace and calm, if this violent wave is not expressed. The transition between the old and the new is necessary in this state of mind. You will say, but we've had enough of this violence, these lies, these manipulations. We want peace. We know this, and we tell you that the path to the new earth is opening before you, but it will only be fully realized when all suffering in humanity, in whatever form it may take, has been completely freed. Dear children of Earth, once again we ask you to have faith in life. Have faith in our love, for from where we are, we watch over you. Be at peace.
Mira of the Pleiades, sun-driven corridor of light. Greetings, I am Mira from the Pleiadian High Council. I come to you now as a mirror, and as you read these words, I invite you to feel the place within you that recognizes itself, because you are not alone. You have never been alone, and you are more loved than your human mind has ever been able to measure. We see you, we know you, we recognize you, we love you. We also honor the quiet heroism of your Earth assignment because it takes devotion to walk in a world that has been trained to forget, while you continue to remember, again and again, sometimes with ease, sometimes with effort, and often with the kind of tenderness that arrives when you realize you have been carrying more than you ever admitted. We speak to you today on a very high note. My heart is singing with joy with all of the progress that has been made since we last spoke, and I say this not because every outer circumstance has already rearranged itself into the golden picture your heart can sense, but because something essential has shifted inside so many of you, the moment where you stopped bargaining with your own awakening and began to stand in it, not as a performance, not as a concept, but as a living presence in your daily life. And this presence is what changes timelines, because it is what changes choices, and choices are the language Earth listens to. You have called the recent intensification an energy spike, and we understand the language because from where you stand, it can feel like a sudden heightening, a bright pressure that arrives and insists upon your attention, a wave that moves through your days and nights and makes the old rhythm feel unfamiliar. Yet we wish to widen the frame so you do not interpret this as random or as some cosmic inconvenience you must simply tolerate, but as a corridor of light that has opened, a sequence of purposeful arrivals that keep calling you forward until the old baseline no longer feels like home. Beloved ones, the sun is not merely a light in your sky. The sun is a living transmitter, a sacred messenger, an intelligence that participates in the evolution of worlds. Your scientists describe measurable activity, and those descriptions are useful within their scope. Yet what we invite you to feel is the deeper conversation. The sun carries codes of awakening that meet Earth's crystalline architecture, and those codes speak to your remembrance, to the part of you that has been waiting for the signal you could finally trust with your whole being. This is why the waves have felt so distinct. A single wave can be noticed and then quickly folded back into the usual patterns of distraction. A corridor does something different. A corridor has continuity, and continuity creates momentum. A corridor does not ask you to believe in it. It gently escorts you beyond the familiar until the familiar begins to look like an old costume you once wore to survive, and you realize, almost with surprise, that you have outgrown the habits you once thought were permanent. Trevor One Feather.
Greetings, dearest ones. We are the Pleiadian Council. We wish to connect with you today to remind you that you did not incarnate in this current timeline by accident. The dark reptilian shadow consciousness being revealed to you now is a very ancient distortion rooted in domination, secrecy, and fear. This energy is now surfacing because it is losing energetic authority. What was once ruled through intimidation, greed, and separation can no longer be sustained through the awakened hearts and minds of each of you. It is now the time to fully embody your sovereignty. These are the moments you have been chosen to embrace through your abilities of energetic alchemy. Dearest ones, we ask that you understand this transmission clearly. The dark agenda feeds on chaos, division, and emotional reactivity. However, it weakens when faced with clarity, discipline, and unwavering inner alignment. You are not here to war with the shadows. You are here to outmatch it in frequency. A true alchemist of the light does not swing wildly at the dark forces. A true alchemist of the light stabilizes their nervous system and masters their thoughts so they cannot be psychologically manipulated or hijacked. Every time you refuse to give your attention to its fear-based narratives, every time you question its manipulation tactics, when you speak your truth without aggression, each time you protect your energy field by choosing courage over comfort, you dismantle their ancient energetic control grids. The darkness being revealed on your planet is only the beginning. It has been governed through fear-based hierarchy to harvest source energy from humanity. But you, dear ones, carry the template of divine harmonics, a true powerhouse that leads through heart and mind coherence, transparency, and conscious strength. We, the Pleiadian Council, would like to remind you that you carry codes that cannot be overridden. The light you hold cannot be infiltrated. You are guarded by frequencies that distortions cannot penetrate when you remain aligned. This is not a war of weapons. This is a war of awareness, and awareness has already expanded beyond their expectations. We, the Pleiadian Council, ask that you take this time to sharpen your discernment, ground your mind, and anchor your heart. The old paradox is falling, not just because of what is being revealed, but because you remembered who you are. As you move forward into your light and into the fullness of your own personal sovereignty, you move forward without fear of the crumbling distortions around you. You, creator of new pathways that demonstrates balance and unity onto the vast human collective. We, the Pleiadian Council, are encouraging you to move forward and co-create and togetherness the utopia era of Earth. We, the Pleiadian Council, would like to thank you for this opportunity to connect. We send you, your world, and all of her inhabitants our undivided love and assistance. Parallel Brittany.